Please subscribe my channel. I stood outside my late grandmother's house, staring at the familiar white porch where I had spent nearly every summer of my childhood. The front door was slightly open, and voices echoed from inside. Cars lined the driveway, yet no one had bothered to tell me the family gathering was happening today. I took a deep breath and walked in. The living room was crowded with relatives. Boxes of old photographs, jewelry cases, and antique furniture were scattered around as if a small auction had already taken place. The room fell silent the moment they saw me. My Aunt Linda folded her arms and looked at me with a cold smile. "We already divided everything," she announced loudly. "You weren't invited for a reason." A few cousins avoided eye contact. Others looked amused. I frowned. "What do you mean? Grandma's funeral was only last week." "It's over," Linda replied. "We handled the estate. There's nothing left." I felt my stomach tighten. My grandmother told me she had a lawyer handling everything. Linda laughed. "Oh, sweetheart, she changed her mind." Something about her confidence didn't feel right. Before I could respond, the front door opened again. A man in a gray suit stepped inside carrying a leather briefcase. "Good afternoon," he said calmly. "I'm Daniel Harper, attorney for Margaret Collins." The room instantly became quiet. Linda forced a smile. "We've already taken care of everything." The lawyer adjusted his glasses. "I'm afraid you haven't." Confused whispers spread across the room. He placed several folders on the dining table. Mrs. Collins specifically instructed me to gather every beneficiary together before reading her final will. Linda's smile disappeared. "We already found her handwritten note." Daniel shook his head. "A handwritten grocery list isn't a legal will." Several relatives looked embarrassed. He continued. "The official will was signed 6 months ago, witnessed properly, and filed with my office." Linda's face turned pale. "That can't be right." "Oh, it is." The lawyer opened the folder. Margaret Collins had anticipated disagreements within the family. She had included detailed letters explaining every decision. Daniel began reading. "To my family, wealth doesn't reveal character. It reveals it." The room became completely silent. She explained how she had quietly observed everyone's behavior during the last 2 years. Some relatives visited only when they needed money. Others disappeared until birthdays or holidays. One paragraph caught everyone's attention. "To my granddaughter Emma," I held my breath, "who never asked me for anything except my stories, who drove me to every doctor's appointment, fixed my garden fence, and spent Sunday afternoons simply keeping me company." Tears filled my eyes. The lawyer smiled gently. "Margaret left you the family home." Gasps echoed across the room. Linda immediately stood. "That's impossible. I practically lived here." Daniel calmly continued reading. "In addition to the house, Emma receives my savings account, personal journals, and the bookstore investment." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The bookstore? Grandma had never mentioned owning part of a bookstore. Daniel explained. "Mrs. Collins invested in a local bookstore nearly 20 years ago. It has grown into a successful business." Linda slammed her hand on the table. "This isn't fair." The lawyer looked directly at her. "There's more." He opened another envelope. Margaret had recorded a video message. Daniel connected a small projector. Grandma appeared on the screen, smiling warmly. "If you're watching this," she said softly, "I'm probably gone." Everyone watched in complete silence. "I know some of you expected to inherit because we're related." She paused. "But family isn't measured by blood alone." She looked directly into the camera. "It's measured by kindness, honesty, and showing up when no one's watching." My aunt slowly lowered her eyes. Grandma continued. "I never promised anyone my belongings. I promised myself they would go to someone who valued people more than possessions." Then she smiled. "Emma, thank you for treating me like a grandmother instead of an obligation." I couldn't stop crying. The video ended. No one spoke. Daniel quietly packed away the projector. "There is one final instruction." Everyone looked up. "The beneficiaries must sign acknowledgement forms today." Linda whispered. "So that's it." The lawyer nodded. "The will is legally binding." One by one, relatives gathered their coats. No one argued anymore. The confidence they had shown earlier had completely vanished. As everyone prepared to leave, Daniel handed me a small wooden box. Your grandmother wanted you to open this alone. Later that evening, after the house became quiet, I unlocked the box. Inside were dozens of handwritten letters. One envelope read, "For the day you finally understand why I chose you." My hands trembled as I opened it. Dear Emma, people often believe inheritance is about money. It never was. This house carries memories, not just walls. My savings will help you build your future. But the greatest gift I can leave you is knowing that genuine love is never wasted. You showed me kindness when no reward was expected. That is rare. Promise me you'll protect this home, not because it's valuable, but because it reminds future generations that compassion always matters more than possessions. With all my love, Grandma. I looked around the old living room. Nothing had changed. The same clock ticked on the wall. The same rocking chair sat by the window. But somehow, everything felt different. That day, I learned something money could never buy. Greed may divide a family, but love always leaves the strongest legacy.